Happy Friday. Oh my goodness, I am so baffled how it is August 5th. I don't know how we got here, but we did. And for a lot of us, it seems as if we were just doing this in survival mode. These last 2 years in education has literally been survival mode. And so, as we were talking to principals yesterday and preparing them for this year and upcoming points and tips and ideas and how we can support them, we had a comparison to what it's like when you're on a cast away kind of boat, and if you're with somebody who has good energy and hopefulness, that your likelihood of surviving is like increased double. And so it got me thinking about a show that I got roped into watching by my husband. I had no intentions and plans, and then I thought, oh my goodness, what is this show? You start watching, you start kind of figuring out what's going on. Next thing you know, you're sitting on the couch, you watch an episode and then a whole 2 episodes, and you're in there. And so the show that we started watching was Alone on Netflix. And it's about these people that are dropped off in the middle of nowhere. I think the location this time around was some area in Canada, and they're dropped off in different parts of this forest area, and they don't know where the other person is. So they could be 50 miles away from the other contestant. And these people have practiced survival skills. They know all things forestry and animals and what berries to eat and things that I would probably die on like day 3. And they're out there, and the last person alone on the island that doesn't push the button, the phone call, gets $500,000. And so it's very interesting to watch. And the one thing that they start to do the minute they're left, dropped off on the boat and left on the island and left alone, is they build a structure, a place that they can call their own, something that they can go into at the end of a long day of foraging, trying to fish. And many of them spend time working on this home, this structure that's fortified, it's safe, it even has a nice front door. Some probably spent more time than they should have, or calories, as they said, putting forth effort to make this a nice structure, which reminds me of the importance of having a really nice classroom welcoming environment when you're starting off the school year, right? You want to welcome students and let them know that they are happy to be there. And so they spend time making sure that the aesthetics is just right so that they can last in this forest. But as people started picking up the phone to push the button and say, come get me, I can't do this after 20, 30, 40 days out here in this forest, is the key word of the title of the show. They were alone. They realized that no matter what they knew about survival, how skilled they were, how they raised their children to know what survival skills were needed, they ultimately needed the connection of their spouse, their partner, their kids, and they missed that, and they needed that, and they weren't going to be able to go on, and no amount of money was going to give them this. This is what we need when we talk about connections in schools. Relationships precede learning, and if students feel alone as they're doing the learning, you won't make a connection with them. So this concept of having relationships is not only important as you set the tone as a classroom teacher, but also for the students to make friends and to remind our kids that if we see somebody sitting alone at lunch, that shouldn't be. It's going to be a long year if they have to sit at lunch by themselves every day. It's hurtful and it's hard. And as a parent, I would not want my child to sit alone at lunch every day. I'm like, just go find somebody else that's alone and sit together. So let's make sure that no one has to push a button and end their journey in our school systems. Let's make our systems welcoming and inviting, and one where people can work together, because we don't have to go at this school year alone. Let's work together and create culturally relevant environments and places where students feel like they belong. Those are just some Friday facts. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend.